Admito! Good morning, Libby. I don't remember too much about graduation, but there are two things that stick in my mind. The first is this word admito, where President Eisgruber would go along some Latin gibberish that he would have to say for tradition and end with the phrase admito to signal that we're graduating college. Right? And the second thing is a metaphor that kind of lasts to this day. And the metaphor that he laid out was that life is just a series of discussions that you have to catch up on. So if you're at a party and there's a group of people who, are chit-chatting, you have to be good at quickly catching up on the discussion, finding a cadence where you can contribute to the discussion and become a part of the talk. And pretty much that's what life is, right? We all grow up in a scenario that we don't really choose to. Some of us are dealt better hands than others, but at the end of the day, we're all born into a world that was built by those who came before us. In order for us to find success in whatever branch or niche that we want to pursue, we have to be able to acknowledge the progress that has been made before us and then build upon that to make incremental changes. When I think about this on a broader level, there are certain technological changes, such as Twitter Spaces or customizable widgets on your home screen that come and go with seasonal software updates and consumer demand. But there are other things like the internet for one and YouTube for another that just seem a little bit more permanent. And that's really scary, because a part of me feels like there's no longer a choice to use these online resources, no matter how unstructured they may be or how distracting they may be. Having grown up with half of my childhood without the internet, or an iPad, or even a flip phone, I always felt like I appreciated not having access to whatever entertainment that I really wanted to at the tip of my fingers. I loved doing stupid stuff outdoors with my friends. Nobody had to be looking. It didn't matter whether there was permanence or a post related to it. We're just doing stupid things because we liked to and it was fun and the moment was fleeting. And oftentimes I find myself over-romanticizing the life I could have had if I lived in my parents' generation or my grandparents' generation. Because even though life was harder back then, a part of me wants to believe that it was easier to experience the more mundane, simpler aspects of life and appreciate that. Perhaps I would have more appreciation for the prevalence of online information if I was old enough to fully appreciate a pre-internet life, but all that is speculation. Some technological and social changes are irreversible and they remain the topic of discussion for generations to come. And to truly stomach that, to me, is really frightening. The internet really just seems to be in a period of chaos. There's no agreed upon structure or regulation behind it, which by no means needs to come from a third-party entity. This can come from creators and the audience itself, but it just seems like an overgrowth of indulgence. We often fall to clickbaity titles, thumbnails. I find myself doom scrolling. Even though I don't have any of the apps on my phone, I still find myself on a web browser scrolling down YouTube Shorts, the worst UI in the world, but I'm still addicted to this thing. And if the current discussion at the table is one of overindulgence, sucking away attention, and clickbaity headlines, then I really wonder to myself how we as people can join into such a conversation without really exacerbating the problem. We obviously live in a world where we have to sell our ideas or make them more palatable or make them more enticing for people to hear. When that's mixed in with hot air and all these bluffs, how do we cut through the bullshit? I'm not sure, but I hope we can find an answer that's acceptable to all of us. Yeah, that's just my rant for today. Beep boop.